And we're live. Welcome to Seller Sessions on Saturday, the daily at 4 p.m. GMT. With me today, I've got Belle, I've got Chris, I've got Cassandra, and of course, I've got Melissa. If you've noticed before, we're doing on a weekly, we're doing Women of Amazon. We are doing the US leg. Some good friends of mine that are based over the US are going to talk about some of their experiences today of what's happened with the pandemic, how that's affecting their life, their businesses, and everything else. So, starting with Belle, I'm just going to unmute your microphone. Do you just want to give the audience a little bit of background on yourself?
Hello, everyone. So excited to be here with Danny and my beautiful, beautiful friends that I miss greatly. It's very hard being locked in the house and not being able to see you ladies. So I'm so thankful to Danny for putting this together, and at least we get to see each other in different contexts and different game nights and different Zoom meetings. So I'm super excited. A lot of you know me. I'm Izabela. I own RankBell, which is a great ranking service. We help Amazon sellers rank and market their products on Amazon.
Excellent. I'm going to pass over now quickly. Just going to mute you, Belle, 1 second. Cass, do you want to give a little bit of background on yourself?
Sure. I'm Cassandra Craven. I am the social media manager for Helium 10 software. I'm very excited to be here. I have over 10 years of social media experiences running for big brands like IMAX, MGM, Fox Studios. So I'm really excited to kind of give my input on how this is affecting everyone in this crazy situation. And I love seeing everyone here. These are some of the best boss babes in the business. So I'm very excited.
Excellent. Melissa, hello.
Hey guys. Yeah, Melissa Simonson here. I represent the Empower E-commerce Cooperative. And so for those of you who don't know, that's a group of e-commerce sellers who sell on Amazon or eBay or many other different places, and kind of created a community for them all to come together, use our combined buying power to leverage better pricing and cash back and things like that. So good to see you all.
Excellent. And last but not least, 1 second, I'm just going to unmute your microphone. Chris, do you want to give a bit of background on yourself as well?
Hi, my name is Christina Uradzimskaya. I've been selling on Amazon for more than 10 years. Right now, I'm doing lots of private brands, and I also have the Amazon marketing agency.
Excellent. So, okay, so Chris, we'll start with you first. Talk to me about when you see the seriousness of what's happening with the pandemic. When did this kind of affect you? It started with us about 2 weeks ago. We went on lockdown. Can you remember where you were when you realized, right, okay, this shit's getting real? And then you went into lockdown with your little one. What happened when was this?
So let's start back when everything started in Wuhan. We know that many mainland China were affected. So I have a couple factories in mainland China. So all the Guangzhou, Guangdong area were closed, and we were not able to get the shipments. And I remember this time, it was before the new year, I was thinking like, oh, well, I'm just going to order the items. I'm going to place the order after New Year, before the Chinese Christmas and all that stuff. And then when they went to Chinese Christmas, the spring holiday, then they extended it and been extending that for a long time. So that affected greatly, and I were not able to get the products for pretty long time. So they basically been shut down, one of those factories for 3 or 4 weeks. And then there was major logistics interruptions in all of the spheres of the logistic processes here to the fulfillment center. In US, when we started to realize that it was real, it's probably when we saw the huge peak of selling of everything into the health and medicine. sector, everybody were trying to get N95 mask. Everybody were trying to get sanitizers. Like right now, everybody is running around. We just got FDA approval for the C8. This is the instant test for the coronavirus. So everybody is trying to get that test. And today there is a couple more tests that are available, but only one is FDA approved that you can actually bring in and start doing. So there are many things. Like I've been a seller for a long time. I'm in many closed groups where we see the analytics, we see what's going on, we see where the market is shifting on daily basis. So for me, I would love to tell that it hasn't affected my business a lot, because like I've all my life I've been mostly in medicine and healthcare sector. I considered to be essentials. I wasn't shut down. All my products were able to get shipped, and everything was okay. I see this crisis in the economy as one of that crises that is leading us to the big reform that is going to affect all the global e-com market. We can't compare it to 2008 financial crisis or something like that, but that will stimulate us to do bigger things, to get better in many things and many spheres of our life. Like look right now how the economy changing. Like for example, daily basis, how many tools we getting better at. We getting better at telemedicine. We having the online appointments with the doctors that we are not able to get. We're getting more sophisticated use of the technology, more sophisticated and advanced use of the in-house schooling for children. So many things. And coming back to what effects, what's going to happen in e-com, closely looking at the Amazon sellers, I want to tell all of you guys that please look at that, not at the crisis, but look at that at the opportunity. So right now, the peak is health and medicine. If you, of course, like you can jump in and start selling N95, but probably you would be more smarter than thinking and prognosis, like look at the prognosis, look at the Google Analytics and everything. It changes daily. So we expect that to shift into the sport and fitness, into things that are gonna be like the relief aftershock from this crisis that's going to help people. Even though we all started that crisis saying that people would be doing retail therapy. I look at my stores right now and retail therapy is not working anymore. I think everybody bought all they wanted, and for last 3-4 days the sales are not that good as they used to be when we all started that lockdown. So it was a good joke going around this meme. There are many different groups of people how we're gonna be living the lockdown, the crisis. Yeah. Those that's gonna be divorced, those that's gonna need lose weight, so many other things.
Well, yeah, there's gonna be a higher divorce rate. There's gonna be probably more babies. There'll be a baby boom as well. So if you're in the baby category, that could work out. But I think it's also going to also be there's some positives to take. Imagine getting to know your family a bit better, being, and homeschooling, all these different things. It changes the behaviors, and there can be some positives come from this, because it's almost like on a global level. You mentioned about the recession of 2008. That was more just like financial markets. I think this is kind of a bit of a humanity reset as well, isn't it, in terms of how we get on with people, etc. I'm going to quickly say some hellos to people who signed in. Hello, Alan says hello, Danny and ladies, thanks for your time. Barbara says hi. Tiff says good morning to everyone. Raj says hi. Jason Chu, morning Danny, morning ladies. Andy Shield, Danny and ladies, will jump back and catch the replay. I'm a 3x4 type of guy. I think he meant he plays stuff back on faster speed. Okay, to switch over to Melissa, where were you? I know obviously I've been in contact a lot with your brother, and he's been sharing a lot of data with me and keeping me abreast of, like, on the early doors of stuff. What kind of impact did that have on you, your family, etc.?
I mean, it's kind of crazy, like thinking now for back just a couple of weeks ago, it feels like a year or two ago. You know what I mean? Like the time has just gone crazy. So every day, so much is unfolding, and, you know, information that was true yesterday may not still be true today. And so thinking back, you know, just a couple of weeks ago, it feels weird. But I think when things started kind of developing, I still wasn't necessarily thinking like, well, I don't know why all the events are closing down. I'm not sure that this is super necessary. You know, that's way back when, before ASD and before Prosper were canceled. And so then I know, you know, European places, stuff like that, I recognize, okay, it's worse over there. It makes sense for them to like shut those down. But I was super disappointed when the bigger events started getting canceled. And then that's for me when it started getting more real that the that the states were going to start getting hit harder. And so for us, you know, canceling travel, that was obviously an immediate impact, trying to make those travel arrangements. For me, I don't know. I had a little bit of intuition here. I didn't actually cancel right away. And it wasn't necessarily because I thought that we would quickly recover or anything like that. It was because I noticed everyone started sending out emails saying, here's how we're dealing with the coronavirus. And I started seeing human kindness. Like, here's what we're going to do for you guys. Here's, you know, we're going to do this for free instead of the cost that we were going to do. So I started noticing people are giving a little bit of leeway, but I hadn't seen it from my flight carriers yet. And so I just kind of waited to cancel. And then sure enough, by the time it was time to for sure cancel or I was going to lose out, then they had all said, you know, you can reschedule and there's no fees and stuff like that. So that was a positive thing. But yeah, immediately changing just the entire trajectory of what I had planned for this entire year. That's really how things transpired immediately. But I also think that what's really positive about it, about those changes, is that it gave us the opportunity to refocus on things without having the fear of missing out on events. You know, if I'm not there, you know, you're worried, like, am I not doing something that I should be doing stuff? And not moving my business forward or moving Empowery forward. And in this case, nobody else is able to go either. And so there's not that fear of missing out or fear of not doing what you're supposed to do. And you can actually just really hunker down, really prioritize and get work done. #hustle.
Yeah, indeed. Okay, I'm going to bring over to Cassandra. A little bit different for you guys because being a software company, I'm sure that I've not been to HQ yet. I know a lot of you ladies have. But there's very much a big culture there. You've got the tequila room and stuff like that. What kind of impact has it had over there with everyone retracting and working from home, etc.?
The tequila room is definitely shut down. We are not hosting any of our HQ visits right now, which is kind of upsetting because that's my favorite thing to do. I love bringing people in and really kind of giving them a sneak peek at our daily lives. And so to not have that energy in the office on the day-to-day, and we're all working from home now, so we try to keep the camaraderie going. We're all on Zoom calls. We actually, when we launched our tools on Wednesday, we all did a virtual happy hour and made the Helium-10 blue drink, which was at our Vegas event last year for SellerCon. So we're trying to keep the morale up. We're really close-knit, and I don't want to sound cheesy at all, but we are like a close-knit family. And so keeping that energy and camaraderie is really important. Kind of going back to like what Christina was saying and Melissa, is it started to kind of trickle in. I think none of us really thought the severity, we kind of thought it was more based overseas, and we were getting ready for Tim Jordan's event for the Seller Growth Summit, and we had sponsored that and ordered lanyards, and we thought, oh, we have 2 months, we're fine, they'll get here on time. And then those were delayed. And we're like, oh, hold on, what's going on? And then they stopped. Then we got another message, stop shipments. And then we had to pivot and get those out, like rush order from a US company. And then, of course, we were actually hosting PickFu at the office the day that Prosper was announced that it was canceled. And that we've been planning for months as well. So we were all ready to go. The energy levels were high. I mean, I'm sure you guys all remember we were all talking about it. We were picking out our outfits and how great this is going to be. And then it was like, oh, okay. So I think it's really just important to keep the camaraderie and to like touch on what Melissa said, you know, work harder than ever now. This is the time to plan. This is the time to prepare. Everyone in this situation is going to have a comeback. It's just what's going to set you apart is how you plan and prepare right now. This is, if you're just hanging out, when it's go time, you're going to be left behind. So now's the time to plan and prepare.
Sounds good. I'll come over. I'll bring Belle. I'll bring you in now. How you doing?
Hi, pretty good. I'm listening to my friends over here, and they're absolutely right. I mean, when it comes to me, I think it hit me a little harder than I actually wanted to accept. And I'm saying that because it's actually bringing me flashbacks what's happening now to a time when I used to live in Romania, and these three beautiful ladies, they already know my story. I don't know if you do, Danny, but growing up in Romania, in communist Romania, going to the store, it was kind of like now empty shelves, and you would have to, and I think the other day my mom went to the store, and I think they were only able to like get 2 items each of like, I don't know if it was meat or whatever. So I'm like, oh my God, like, what is happening? This is not real. This is not happening right now in my lifetime. But I'm a very positive person, and I always kind of, I think, try to bottle things inside and make everybody feel happy and positive. And I don't think I realize how much it hits me sometimes. But yeah, just thinking about it when all of you were speaking, I'm like, holy cow, like, yeah, this is pretty bad. This is like Romania, but worse, because now there's like a virus and people are dying. So I think it really hit me when we were in Miami. Christina and I went to visit Carlos. He was doing actually his last live in-person Amazon meetup, and we were having dinner with him and Juan, and we were sitting down, and it was like 10:55, and they came and told us at 11 we're closing down, you have to get home, otherwise we're getting a ticket, you're getting a ticket. And I was like, okay, this is getting real. So of course, with all the events shutting down and the whole world is shutting down, I mean, it's very upsetting. And of course, there's some upsetting effects as far as personal. I'm a very extrovert person. I live off of like people's energy. I love being around people. It's what I do. So it's kind of hard. I know I've been seeing those memes saying, "Oh, I've been an introvert my whole life. I've been prepared for this my whole life." That's not me, guys. Like, I am not prepared for this. This is the worst thing that could happen to somebody like me. But, that's just egotistical, and that's just from my personal, and I know it's for the greater good for everybody to stay home. My parents live right next door to me, and of course I want them to be protected. I want all of you guys to be protected. I want all my friends. So I'm just hoping this will blow over soon. And the one thing that actually left me a little like stressed out was the fact that how unprepared this country was. I love this country very much. It's my favorite country in the world. Obviously, that's why I live here. And I moved from Romania thinking that this was the best. And it has been. It kind of hit me a little harder because I'm like, wow, we're not really as prepared as we thought we were as far as like medical supplies. Like, I hear people like living and dying based on, like a decision made by the doctor, like who's worth more, living or dying. Like, this is insane. To me, this is insane. We should be prepared. We should have ventilators. We should have everything that we need. So I think bits by bits, it's kind of starting to get to me. As I said, even though I'm a very positive person, like I try to calm down and meditate every day and, think, project like the good that's going to come out of this, even though it's kind of hard to pick it now, like what can be so good out of, thousands of.
I think, or you just represent everyone, but you're just being honest and being open. I think it's okay for you to be scared. And I think everyone is to a point. What you can't do is give up. You can't just freeze and not do anything. So I think a lot of people will echo your sentiments, whether they'd admit it publicly or not. But I think everyone's going through the same thing. And like you said, you're keeping the positive mindset.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, there's different techniques that I do, as I mentioned. One is definitely meditation. I just love, and I've never used to meditate before, but now I do it. And every time after I meditate, I meditate for 20 minutes. And I started doing this thing. It's called tapping. I don't know if y'all heard about. One of my mentors just mentioned that to me. So you start by tapping on your hand, and whatever worries you have, or if you have a sickness, like you'll say, the world is healthy, my body's healthy, my mind is open, I can see clear now. And then you go on top of your eyebrows, then you go the side of your heads, or here on your cheekbones, your collarbones, and then you do this weird move right here, and then you go into the crown of your head. And I only go through it once, and it takes me about 5 minutes. But I think the energy from like your hands and you're speaking out loud, these things, it actually gives me a little better feeling, and it carries me throughout the day. And I try not to like watch the news, but it's so hard because everywhere you turn, like even if the TV's not on, I turn on Facebook, coronavirus, US is #1 now. This is how many people are dying. So it's so hard. It's like, where is this going to stop? And I understand how important this time is and how difficult this time is. I just wish there wasn't so much conversation around it, because the more you hear about it, the more you focus on it. And as we all know, where energy where goes, energy flows. For me, it's like, oh my God, all these people are talking about coronavirus, and I feel like it's even making it even more, if that makes sense. And it's kind of hard to tell the whole world, hey, focus on being healthy, focus on being this, when everybody's freaking out. So I'm trying to do what's best for me at this time, and share with friends that I have some of the techniques that I do to keep me afloat for the time being.
You're doing well. Don't worry about that. Melissa.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you're a mother, aren't you? Yeah. So what kind of impact has this had on you, do you feel, as a mother?
Oh, I mean, right now. I mean, I could tell you right now. Literally, my son just came over and was like, "Can you do this thing?" That happens during my meetings all the time now.
Yeah.
So, like, sometimes it works out okay. Most people are pretty understanding, but it's definitely a thing that is not the professional way that you're used to conducting meetings and stuff like that. So it's been a really tricky thing. As a mom, I loved what I do for the flexibility that I could, I volunteer at my son's school on Fridays, and I'm able to, go have lunch with my kids at my son's daycare, or all kinds of stuff. It gives you the flexibility, but now it's a whole nother ballgame. Like we're homeschooling, and so I'm trying to set my schedule. And what I've had to do is just be very rigid about my schedule. Working from home, you have to do that anyway, but it's a whole new ballgame because, and I think it's actually a really positive thing for me, because when you know that it's just total chaos and absolute craziness, then there's no expectation of things fitting within the lines. You're up for anything going wrong at any second. So you've got your armor on, you're ready for any kind of difficulty that presents, which means that I have prepared for every eventuality. So I have my schedule in the morning so I can work 5 to 10, and I can have, time teaching my kids in the morning so that they're actually learning stuff and not just watching TV all day. And then I have hours that I work later so that I can catch my meetings, and that coincides with the time that my kids have then earned with their devices, so that I can, try and have a little bit of balance in my home between work and home and walking the dog and all of the other craziness that just kind of piles on top of each other.
And I think it's also important that you can't, like with homeschooling and stuff, you could take it really personal in the sense that you feel, right, I haven't delivered enough, they should be doing this. But we're in the middle of the fucking pandemic. Do you know what I mean? You have to chill out and just know that you can't just be, what's the word for it? You can't just expect to be like super mum, super dad, whoever in this period of time. You just work with what you got. The fact that they're safe, they're home and everything else, you have to allow that in your schedule as you drive yourself crazy. I'm going to bring in Christina again. You're a mum as well, Christina, is that right?
Yes.
So what kind of impact has this had on you and your little one?
I wish to tell everything is okay, but it's not. Unfortunately, it's a very hard time for me. Being single parent to a wild 5-year-old that is locked in a 2-bedroom condo, it's kind of difficult. So the biggest concern is, of course, how to maintain my own sanity and keep this kid entertained. And of course, I'm not prioritizing the goal of giving him at that period too much of some academic knowledge or something. For me right now is just to keep us all alive and be safe and stay at home. Like day-to-day problems is I have to learn how to cut his hair. So for me, it's something new that I never did. Then there is we're still trying to find the perfect balance between watching TV, playing games on iPad, and trying to learn some alphabet and numbers and anything. We're not very successful, but we're doing it. We are we're there.
You're getting the hang of it.
Yes, I'm just trying to look at things positively. Like I've never spent as much time as I'm spending with him right now. It's actually like 24/7 full-time mom, and we try to get out if we have the opportunity. At least for like 15-20 minutes, just walk around the house or something, because it's insane to stay indoors 24/7. We do it.
So I know you're in a condo, but you allowed, because in the UK we're allowed to go do like one form of exercise a day, whether to take the dog out or you take your children, etc. Do you have that opportunity where you're at the moment, where you're staying?
So we are allowed to go to do physical exercises. We need to maintain the 6 feet difference, the 6 feet distance from other people, other children. All playgrounds, all beaches, all activities where we used to go, they all are closed. So we can't do any of this. So the only fun thing is I have a bank around me that has a nice fountains that he can throw stones or like run around. This is the only activity we're allowed to go and do for like 15-20 minutes a day. That's it.
That makes sense. But just got to hang in there, really. How long is the lockdown proposed for you guys? Because in the UK, as of last week, they said 3 weeks. I expect it to be longer. But what they said in the US is the minimum term of shutdown for you guys?
So they used to say, as far as I understand, the first email we received from schools here in California, it was 6th of April, but right now we received the email that probably we're just going to go to school in September.
Right. Okay. So there's a longer period of shutdown. I'm going to bring Belle back in. You're a young mum as well, haven't you? You've got a little one.
Thank you. Now you're just being nice, young mom. I love it. Yes, and it's been a little difficult because he got to the age where he's asking a lot of questions like, why aren't we going to SeaWorld anymore? Why aren't we going to the zoo? Why aren't we going to the park? And I said, I tried to like speak to him as an adult. I said, there's a virus going on. He's like, there's sick people. I'm like, yeah, there's sick people. But it's for a kid, it doesn't matter. This seems like forever. To me, this seems like forever. So I can't imagine for a 4-year-old who's locked in the house. But what I try to do to to keep him moving and healthy, I try at least once a day. Luckily, I live in a house. Once a day, I take him outside in a backyard and I take his shirt off and just let the sun, like
vitamin D, yeah.
Yeah, because the sun is so important. And this is one thing that I don't like about this shutdown. Of course, I have my own conspiracy ideas about some of these things, maybe on another episode. But I don't like the fact that we are locked in a house when the sun is so vital to our health. So I tried to do that. And I told my parents as well, just go in the backyard, just put a towel down and lay there for like half an hour to an hour. So I've been doing that with with my kid. And then of course he has all this the stores there. But the weather has not been helping us in California, as I was telling you, Danny, right when we started. It hasn't been helping. It's like the weather is sad with us, at least here in California. Like, it's been raining. We had hail. Cassandra knows we had like thunder the other night. I was like, wait, are we back in South Carolina? Like, I remember these thunderstorms in South Carolina. But yes, so he's gonna be fine. He's 4.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm gonna
bring.
Hopefully,
Sorry, say that again. Apologies.
I said he's gonna get over it. I'm just hoping I will get over it.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Cassandra, are you a mum as well?
I am not a mom, but I will tell you, ladies, this worry for your kids never stops. I'm actually with my family, and I am 32 years old, and my mother is very concerned about anytime I try to leave the house or go to the store, anything. She's like, no, I'll go. So it doesn't really matter what age, your kids are. You're always going to be concerned about them. And my brother's actually 10 years younger than me. He's actually graduating from college this semester, and all of his classes are shut down. There's a coworker of mine that is the same age as him, and they were talking about their classes are shut down, graduation's canceled. We don't, this is crazy because this is something he's worked hard for 4 years. We were all planning, trips and celebrations and things like that, and now we're like pivoting of how is this even going to happen? So, and then on the flip side, of course, my mother. She's not in that. She'll love that I'm giving her age away. She's not in the age range of, the elderly department, but she's getting up there. And I'm still worried for her. I'm like, no, you shouldn't be out there. Like, you're probably more at risk than I am. And so we're trying to like switch off going to the supermarkets and things like that. And then touching on like what Izabela said. So I live like 5 minutes from Disneyland over here. And it is a ghost town. It is crazy, Danny. Like, there is crowds of people in Disney shirts and balloons and toys and backpacks and everything, and tourists and conventions, and there's nothing there. You could run around in the street. It is totally crazy to see like Disneyland closed. And again, seeing everyone here in my area, everyone goes to Disneyland. We have annual passes and no one can go. It's really crazy to see this. And one of my friends actually works for DreamWorks, and the same thing. She's working from home. Productions are shut down, and it's just really crazy to see that trickle effect of everything and how everyone's affected.
Definitely. I mean, but what we've got to look at on the positive side, at some point we're going to have the setbacks make way for comebacks, and it's going to pop, and everyone's going to want to get out of their house. So we'll get back to events and stuff. I know that certain events have been cancelled or moved, etc. I don't know what's happening with Celicon, but that's normally a big one in the diary each year, isn't it? And that's in July. So depending on what happens, if people are sensible and stayed home, I can see going to Celicon's going to be a big tear up. There's going to be a lot of people out there excited to get out and integrate with people again. Because I see all of you ladies there last year, wasn't it? You were all at Celicon, is that right? You were, yeah, because you had the Helium 10 party as well. I'm going to bring Melissa back in here. You've had, like me, you've had to shift around events and stuff. What's your prediction? Are you quite bullish of the future? Do you feel that the events will be up and running again in a matter of months, or do you think there's going to be a bit of a slowdown?
I honestly, I don't think that we've seen the worst yet. And I don't want to be sounding doom and gloom. Honestly, when I'm watching the news, I'm looking for the good things. There's some positive things that we can find on there as well. But I do think that it's going to get worse, and I am nervous for the events in July. I'm nervous that we won't be ready yet. Yeah, that we'll still have some trouble.
Yeah, no, I agree. That I think I'm trying to be super optimistic, bullish and stuff. For me, it all comes down to, if people stay indoors, that's the best chance that we have. It's a really simple thing. You think our grandparents and that fought in wars. All we've got to do is sit on the sofa and behave ourselves and stare at technology and our children. Do you know what I mean? It's not much to ask, really, in the grand scheme of things. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm kind of bullish on that, and I'm looking forward to, I think, with everyone on lockdown, at some point, when everyone gets let off, no one's going to want to go home. So even though everyone's going to rebook all these events and plan, everyone's going to be out every week because they're never going to want to be back in their house ever again. Do you know what I mean? They want that human contact. But Belle, I'll bring you in here as well, because obviously you're a social butterfly. You like to get out to the events and stuff. What did you have booked in the diary this year for you? that you've had to move?
So much. I was supposed to speak in Hong Kong at Global Sources. That's April. In June, I was invited to speak in Bucharest, in my home country, for the very first time. So I was very excited for that. And of course, July, SellerCon, and then I'm supposed to speak at Kevin King's event. And I'm really, really hoping that's still on. But we had so many other events happening. I would have to bring my calendar. I was looking forward to that. But we're taking this time now to create even a better plan, to work on our goals and our future. I'm still hoping July will open. We'll see. I feel like even if it opens up, maybe people are still gonna feel a little withdrawn and afraid of this human interaction, which is what I love the most. I'm also European. I hug people. We kiss, we hug, we hold. So that's the first thing I want to do when I see my friends. So I'm hoping people are not gonna be freaking out. But it's hard to come up from something like this and say, oh, everything is fine now. I think people are still going to feel a little bit like they need to distance themselves, but I'm still praying and hoping everything will be back to normal this summer.
Sounds good. I'll bring in Christina now. What's your interpretation, Christina? Could you see a fast spring back? We'll be all out at events in a few months' time, or do you think there's still going to be a little while before we start to see a full recovery?
Well, I always look at what is going on with China comparing to us. As they said, last week they said we've been 4 weeks away from the main crisis. So right now it's 3 weeks away, what they say. I strongly believe we're gonna be back I want to believe we're gonna be back to normal somewhere mid-June, July.
So you're pretty bullish on it. That's good.
Yeah. I don't think, of course, we will have, if you talk to people in China right now and what's going on, it's still going to be very difficult. We're still going to be using masks, hand sanitizers, but we'll try to, especially right now, they have the tests to say if you've been sick already with coronavirus or you are sick, and they're easily accessible to public in all of the states. So we can control it at that point. Another thing is, I strongly believe within next 3-4 months there will be the vaccine. By the end of the summer, I strongly believe they are capable to do it. So I don't think we have to panic that much. And that is, we're going to be on lockdown for another, let's say, 6-8 months. I think another 3 months, they're going to be difficult, but after that things going to get better.
Yeah, I think we definitely think is that with the same with the UK, we've just the XL Centre is a big place where we, when I go there, it's speaking at events there. Now they've turned it into this massive hospital with 4,000 beds and 2 morgues in there, because the impact hasn't really caught up. The data suggests, Melissa, your brother, has sent me. Most of the data I get is from your brother. He gives me these dashboards and stuff, and you can actually clearly see that we're waiting for that bit of impact. But there is a light at the other end of the tunnel. It will get better if people stay indoors, but we have to accept that that bit that's been created now is probably where we just left it a little bit too late to get to lockdown. And I'm talking about in the UK and in the US as well. So Melissa, the situation now with China, you've seen some developments over there in terms of there's a lot less reoccurrence of cases now. They seem to have got it under control. Do you think we can maybe get what they're doing over in China and replicate that into other countries? Because it broke there first. If you think about it logically, even though it's not perfect over there, that went for 10 weeks. And it seemed like in 10 weeks, they got it under control. So why can't we,
Yeah, so it's kind of a tricky question. So I think that, we have seen them kind of flatten the curve I think that the difference is that in the States, at least, I don't see them doing like a crazy military, stay in your houses kind of a thing. They're, my governor just put out, stay at home for 21 days, but we're still able to go and get groceries. And there's still ways that you can still get sick. And we're not leaving our people just in their apartments to die if they get sick, like there's still going to be things that we are not willing to do here that I think we're going on over there, which I think will make it difficult to flatten the curve. And I'm not sure anyone would want to give up that freedom, but I know that is one of the ways that they were able to flatten it so quickly.
Yeah, I live in a little village, and a family member lives down the road. He don't live in a village, but he lives remotely. The neighbour is probably half a kilometre away. He got diagnosed with coronavirus yesterday, and he lives in a remote area, and he hasn't left his house for 10 days. So the only thing he can think of would have been contracted it from a gas station or a petrol station, as we call over it.
Right. Or a package.
Or a package. Yeah, delivery. Yeah, we just don't know. Cass, let me undo your microphone there. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. So what's your take on things at the moment in terms of, like, you had plans, I think you mentioned earlier on, you had plans for the year, or it might be Melissa, you have your plans for the year and they've all changed. And I know that you're super, super optimistic. What do you see? What are your plans this year? What are you getting on with that you can control? What's in your control?
For me, personally, and with my, the social media and my department at Helium 10, I'm really planning for the future. Right now, I'm kind of taking time to do everything that I couldn't do in the office with just day-to-day chaos, if you will, and really looking at big picture ideas, big picture goals, really hammering out large-scale plans, things like that. We are planning ahead for the future. We are looking ahead for what our large scale events will be, how we're going to do like our elite workshops and things like that in the future. We're definitely planning for the comeback, even though it does seem very indefinite right now. We don't have a day that we're coming back to the office. No one's working in our office. Even our building has limited the hours and how you can come and go, just to limit that activity, because there are a lot of people who still, like you said, are going out and going to the store and going to the gas station and coming together thinking, oh, I'm fine. But really, I think now it's just planning the large scale things that you couldn't maybe get to in the day to day, or you were just so tied down or bogged down with, daily activities, that now it's the time to plan the big picture events. So that's what I'm doing for myself personally, and also researching, getting into things that I just didn't have time to do before.
Yeah, finding time for other things. Christina,
Yes.
what are you working on at the moment yourself? Obviously, you don't have to say what products or anything, but are you like head down into a new run of products, or what other things are you planning for the future?
So as we already started to talk, that we expect a little bit of the baby boom after that, and you guys know that I'm very into the maternity segment. So we just got the trademark registration for the new brand called Pregnology, and we're launching tons of maternity activewear, swimsuits, dresses, lots of maternity wear. So Technology brand is going to be in full swing in about 2 months. And I was also thinking to launch a new line of the swimsuits with the crystals, embellishment swimsuits. But I'm thinking if the summer will be cancelled or no, what the things will be. So swimsuits are already kind of questionable. We got the samples, but we haven't confirmed the production yet. But my main focus right now is on the Pregnology. So this is the sister company for the TerraMat, my main company. That's basically it. And as I said, people need to get the focus back on the products that we expect to be selling much more than it used to be. It's a maternity segment, baby segment, tools for homeschooling, for education, for entertaining kids at school, as well as I said earlier, it's health we switching from the health to the sports and fitness. We're gonna need lots of weight loss solutions. So if you guys in the supplements in some types of the gym equipment or anything, I by myself yesterday bought one sauna suit, hot cream, so I'll be putting that and running around. So all these niches are very good to go. You have plenty of time developing new product within months, 2 months. Bring them into US and start selling with the best helium-10 tools, the new ones that they just did. So yes, that's my focus. And as I said, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I try to look at things in positive way. I look at that at the opportunity for myself and add a little bit of challenge that's going to make me stronger and make my businesses stronger.
Makes sense. Well said there. Belle, I'm going to bring you back in. I know that you were saying earlier, you were, I think you, hold on, sorry, my mic's feeding back there. I'll unmute yours in a second. You were saying earlier that I think you were a bit more productive in these times when you're not traveling so much. So what things are you working on at the moment?
Rankbell is working on adding in a few more services that my sellers have been asking me for years that I haven't been able to get to. So this is a very good time. I actually thought the business is going to slow down a little bit with this delays, but luckily I've been able to still keep steady. Sorry.
What's his name? Say hello to the world while he's here.
Ezekiel. I've been able to have my business run pretty smoothly, maybe a 10% decrease. So I thought I was going to have a lot more time to dedicate to this, but being in the house, we're all kind of forced to work on more than we've been working on before. Especially for me, traveling is a big deal. I mean, I travel once, twice a month sometimes. That doesn't give me that much time to work on my other activities that I need. But luckily I have a really good team at Rankbell and they take care of really everything for me. But yeah, so I'm bringing in a few services and I've been working on this idea of creating a ranking course, just kind of like a handoff to sellers if they want to do it themselves. And that's in the works. And yeah, it's a very exciting time. Even though it's bad, I think we're all going to come out a little bit stronger after this. And I know, like Christina was mentioning, everything is kind of focusing on online. So any opportunities, they're all there now online. Brands, if you want to start on Amazon, courses, really anything like schooling. A lot of teachers had to move online to teach their students. Like, what a perfect time now to create some solutions so we are better prepared for the future. Hopefully this never happens again, but we can take the learning, we can preserve these learning that we're going through right now and apply them to start a business and create a brand or a service. So when it comes to that, if you forget about everything else that's going on, I think it's a great opportunity for us entrepreneurs that we spend most of our times online. So yeah.
Oh, sorry, he's still there. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to bring this back to Cassandra here. I'm going to go, as we're wrapping up the call now, my final question to you guys, if we go around the room, is what advice would you give to fellow women entrepreneurs? And I'll start with you, Cass.
My advice would be to anything that you've been putting on the back burner, now is your time. I've been, personally, I've been wanting to get into new social media networks. I'm big on the TikTok now. But really get into anything that you've been putting on the back burner that you've been questioning or thinking about or saying, oh, I should start that blog. I should fix up my website. I should, take more photographs, things like that. Anything that you've been putting on the back burner, now is the time. Whether you're putting a plan in place or preparation or whatever it may be, just don't cut your own bangs at home. That's my only advice. So definitely plan and prepare.
Melissa, what's your one piece of advice you'd give to fellow women entrepreneurs? And you might need to unmute. I seem to stuck you. There you go. That's fine.
I would say for men and women alike, I think the advice that's already been given is absolutely on point. Don't wait for anything. Like, there's a lot of people who are like, I don't know if it's the right time, but I'm telling you, there's never been a better time for most of the stuff that you have had on the back burner. Stuff like creating content, trying something new. Like, so many more people are on Facebook right now. And there's a crazy thing. So like Facebook ads pricing has gone down because many people are like, I don't know what's happening, so I'm just going to shut off all my ads. And some people are like, I'm out of stock, so I don't want to advertise. And so there's a lot of opportunity there if you're looking for it. And additionally, like, there's crazy markets that are opening up that people are good at and they just haven't considered going into. Like, for me, I'm doing a lot of collaborative content with a lot of people in a lot of different areas. So for e-commerce, I don't know if you can hear what's happening back there.
It's absolutely fine. We're working with it. It's good.
Chaos is welcome in this home. So
yes.
But a lot of different things going on. So e-commerce stuff that I'm working on for my business, for Empowering, and then also I'm having to do these things homeschool wise for my kids. And creating crafts and stuff like that. And so I'm documenting it and I'm doing how-tos because I have to do it for my kids anyway.
Yep.
And so then we're doing little videos. And so then they have their own little thing. And part of what I'm teaching them is, here's how you do social media so that you can do it successfully. Because that is a skill that I think that we should know, right? Yeah, it's a way that you can monetize your business and it's how you do marketing. And so they should know. And there's a way to teach that. So I've got a lot of stuff that I'm working on that's kind of off the back burner, so to speak. And I'm really excited about it. I think that the advice that I would give is 3% don't be afraid to try stuff. There is a lot of people who are on social media right now, but there's not necessarily a lot of people watching you yet. So if you're nervous to try something, don't be nervous. Nobody's looking. And so you can do whatever you want and make as many mistakes as you want. And you don't have to worry about anybody watching you fail. So just do it. Just try it.
Excellent. I'll bring in Christina. What would, let me unmute your mic. What is the one piece of advice you would give to fellow women entrepreneurs?
So, I'm very much into the systematization. So, dear females, as I said earlier, take this time as the opportunity and put a small list. There is a short-term goal and long-term goal. For the short-term goal, number one, stay positive, maintain your sanity. If it takes to allow your kids to watch TV as much as they want, for you just to be positive and in the best mood, do that, be in the best mood of the day and try to get as much positive vibe as you can, even though the circumstances are not that positive around you. For the long-term goal, try to get as much as you can get from the time you have in. This was the most biggest resource and the biggest thing we all have. Go to this webinar, listen to this podcast that you wanted to do. Try to use this time you have to be the better female, better entrepreneur, and better human being. That's my only advice. And whatever it takes, we all humans, we all do mistakes, and we all, whatever we do, it's never 100% guarantee success rate. But just try to do it with the effort you put into, with the vibe you're getting from the universe, you send into the universe, you're gonna get some impact back. So that's what I wish you, and stay positive.
Excellent. Belle, I'll leave this final word for you here.
Thank you. So as my three favorite ladies were saying, you already heard everything. What to do, what not to do is do not beat yourself up. Because I feel like, we're all so like, yeah, let's do it. This is the time to clean your house. This is the time to learn a new language. This is the time to start a new business, which I'm all for it. But it's like sometimes you just don't want to do anything. So you know what? Don't do anything. If you don't want to do anything, that day, just freaking just go to sleep, watch as much Netflix as you want. But do, you know, in the long run, set up just a small, tiny time of the day where you are working on yourself. So I know there's different methods out there, like Pomodoro, just take 25 minutes. And, you know, like for me, I meditate 20 minutes in the morning because I know I will not have time for the rest of the day. And then, you know, maybe later on, if you've been wanting to read that book, just take 20 minutes to read that book, hide in your bathroom, leave your kids with somebody else. But yeah, most of all, don't beat yourself up. So if you come up with a few more pounds out of this, you're a little fluffier. Who cares? I mean, there's going to be so many supplements on Amazon, guys, that you're going to be good. So just don't worry. Let's just focus on being healthy right now. And yeah, we'll see you all on the other side. I think it will be a good time.
Thank you. I'm going to quickly just go through the schedule for the rest of the week now. So tomorrow at 4, we're going to do Mindset Sunday. We're going to talk about wealth, which is going to be a pertinent situation now with some Amazon sellers doing well and not so well, and where they can pivot and their relationship with money. I think Belle could speak on this. Coming from the country that you come from, your mindset changes as you go through, and your resources improve, etc. And you see money and stuff in a different way. Monday, we're going to be sourcing in the pandemic era with Kian Gulzari. Tuesday is Chatbot Tuesday. Wednesday, we're going to do outsourcing, what to do in the downturn. We're going to bring in a panel guest there as well. Thursday is going to be about Amazon compliance certification, essential goods and inspections. Are you doing the right thing? How to deal with this at the moment? And then on the Friday, we're going to be doing listing optimization, which is 2020 versus what you were doing in 2019. I just want to say thank you for everyone tuning in. I'm just going to go through some of these messages here. Amy says, some of my favorite ladies on the panel. Thanks for inspiring and pouring out positivity as always. Juan says, Danny McMillan, thanks for putting together another great good leaders. The Boss Babes, looking forward to connect next week. And here we go. Mayanne says, you guys are amazing. Love hearing your thoughts. Tiff mentioned earlier on, which Belle was referring to, is tapping and meditation and breathing work. They're a favorite as well. And we'll finish here on Amy, where she says, you don't have to worry about anybody watching. You fail just as long as you get it done, which is a great quote by Melissa Simonson. Ladies, thank you so much for giving up your precious time. Thank you to everyone. Much love to everyone. Stay safe, stay home. And we'll see you again tomorrow at 4 p.m. Take care.